Pioneers. My name is Olivia Lambert, and on this week's episode of The Grit, we'll be interviewing former All-Ohio Athletic Conference honors in the 3,000-meter steeplechase and 4x 800-meter relay, and the head coach of both our school's cross-country and track and field teams, Coach Adam Walters. Thanks, Coach, for coming on today's show.
No problem. Glad to be here.
What events did you participate when you were in college and high school?
So I went to Circleville High School growing up, and I mainly did the distance events. So I also did cross country, played basketball for 3 seasons as well, and then the main events would be the mile, the 800, the 4x4, and the 2 mile.
Nice. You were Circleville's valedictorian your senior year, along with numerous academic awards from Otterbein. Can you explain how you managed that, also being an athlete?
Yeah, I didn't have a lot of free time. I mainly just, viewed my day both in college. My strategy for it was that I didn't want homework at night, so I treated it like a 8 to 5 job, but I always had practice from 3 to 5. So it mainly was like any bit of free time I was trying to study or do homework, so that I was, because classes aren't back to back in college, so it's just a lot easier. And so then I would get to like 6 p.m. and hopefully be done while my friends were, unless it was a night before a test, then I procrastinated like everybody else.
Yeah. Was there a specific coach, teammate, or upperclassman who modeled the kind of leader you are today?
So both my coaches, so number one, my dad is a track coach and was my track coach at Circleville. One of the cooler stories though that I tell to a lot of my athletes and sometimes parents is that even though my dad was the head track coach, he wasn't my distance coach, and he was very hands-off. Most of his advice on meet days was just have fun, stay relaxed. He knew I wanted to win as much as anyone, and so there was never added pressure from my dad being a coach. And then my college coach is actually a Big Walnut's head track and cross-country coach now, but he was the head coach, and he was actually coached by my dad. And so he went to Circleville, Coach Borland. And so both of them, I would say, I'm very much cut from their cloth.
Yeah. Outside of Orange, you also run a YA cross country. Can you explain what goes into the running program and that it's different than high school?
Yeah, basically when I started coaching here about 12, 13 years ago, Liberty's cross country coach and I decided that we wanted to try to get younger kids involved in running. So how is it different? It's a lot more fun, as fun as running can be. As intense and as demanding as I might be in the high school world of like run, keep running. I know it's not fun. You just got to do it to be good. With OYA, like we always end with a game, capture the flag, sharks and minnows, and I'm just trying to get them interested in running. So, and usually once they start racing, some of them realize, I could be good at this, and it's a chance to kind of compete with soccer and lacrosse and other spring sports to say like, hey, there's options, because a lot of younger kids aren't exposed to track or cross country until middle school.
Yeah. When did you decide to become a coach, and what led to that decision?
I would say the decision to be a coach, let me think about that. Before I was a teacher, I was a youth pastor at a church in Westerville, and so I volunteered as a coach at Westerville Central, and I did that for like 8 years before I got hired as the head coach here. And I think that I loved that so much that I was just like, you know what, this is what I want to do. So when the opportunity came to be a coach at Orange, first in cross country and then track the same year, I was like, I'm just going to take it. And again, growing up, I was the 8-year-old on the high school track bus with my dad. So I'd been around track my whole life, and so it was a pretty, natural thing. I wanted to be a teacher and a coach since my senior year of high school. So.
Nice. How has your history as a cross-country athlete influenced how you coach?
I can identify with, I still think I can identify with most high school athletes on the struggle that there is in getting out there and doing the runs every day. And then, I ran a marathon last fall. I still try to run and every once in a while race to remind myself how much it hurts. Distance running and racing is one of those things where it's like, you're excited, you're nervous, it hurts a lot during the race, and you feel great about your performance afterwards if you gave the effort. I think because I did cross country in high school and college, I can identify and empathize with everything the athlete's going through mentally.
Yeah. How do you manage 3 different teams and programs?
It's challenging. There's a lot of just trying to, there's a lot of communication, lots of emails, lots of now parent square messages, used to be remind messages. But the big thing is like always every day trying to get something done. Like I feel like if I go home after practice or at the end of the school day and I've at least done one bit of scheduling, communication, admin, workouts, then we're on the right track. So it's just a daily grind.
Yeah. How has track and field and cross country meant to you throughout your coaching and high school collegiate career?
I think for me, like I always in high school, it was a much smaller school. All right, so I was the best runner by a lot. I went to the state championships once or twice, and I was just known as the runner in town. Like, you know, parents all the time were like, "Oh, I saw you running, and I was like the only one. I had some friends that ran, but they didn't run as much as me. And then you get to college, and suddenly you're around a bunch of guys who all have the same dedication, talent. Most of them are more talented. And so what did it mean to me? Like, I don't know, most of my friends, came from running, like my really good friends, because you run with them a lot. There's that time there with them. And then I just like competing. So that's probably still why I coach. I still like competition.
One of the fun questions, what's your favorite event?
For competing, when I competed, I loved the mile in high school. So and I loved the 4x400 meter relay. So those were like the 2 things that even today, like I will always be biased towards the mile and the 4x4 with distance runners. And then in college, I did the 3,000 meter steeplechase, which is where you jump over some barriers, kind of like a hurdler, and then there's a water jump. So, and I like that because it took away the monotony of running laps. Like you had to be careful because if you tripped, it was going to hurt. So, it was like 2 miles of jumping over hurdles.
If you had to get rid of one event at track and field, which event would you cut?
As a coach, I just tell Will Jackson I would cut pole vault because those pole vault poles are too expensive. So, but I like all the events in track. There isn't anything I think I would cut.
Well, thank you for coming in, Coach. That's all for today, Pioneers. Make sure to check out The Grit this Thursday, hosted by Alex Rampton and Justice Colvin. Remember to support your Pioneer athletes, especially over the long weekend. And as always, World Nears.